I'm just trying to express myself. I couldn't do it for so long. I really need to get it out of my chest. I really wanted to improve myself. You absolutely have your right to think that's the right thing to do. You probably should listen to your feelings. And when you feel good, it not only tells you that you're making the right decisions, but also keep you on the right track and bring you success, but only true to you. Tomorrow we're going to have second design meeting with our client. For tomorrow's meeting, we're supposed to finalize the overall configurations to wrap up SD and also present the material palette. There's a lot of work and I'm supposed to produce some three-dimensional views, but I don't think we need a fully rendered renderings because we don't need that to sell the idea. I hope my partner will not get angry about this, but I'm just trying to express myself. I couldn't do it for so long. I really need to get it out of my chest. So I remember when I was in high school, it was my first time to hear one of my classmates call me stubborn. And then the most recent time I got this judgment was from my previous boss when we had an argument about design. I do have strong opinions towards a lot of things. Sometimes I was wrong, but sometimes I was right. At least from my perspective, of course, most of the time from my perspective, I'm right. But now I learned to have a second thought regarding my obsession, just to make sure that I was not being obsessed out of my ego. And also because I really wanted to improve myself internally. Now I pay much more attention towards my opinions, my preferences, my decisions, my behaviors compared to what I was like before. And I learned a lot of time there is no right or wrong. People just think things differently from their own perspectives and also under different circumstances. So now I really try to let things go, to ease out my strong opinions towards many things in daily lives. As long as I can keep up my principles, I'll just let things go. Let other people do whatever they want. But when I design, and especially I have a very strong idea, I wouldn't easily let people to change my mind. I would at least try to make an argument to support my point, because of course I have my reasons why I do certain things and don't do other things. Design is never about right or wrong. There is no correct solution. Like, this kind of thing doesn't exist in architecture. Yeah, so design is not like solving a math problem. You can always build up simple boxes and call it a day. You absolutely have your right to think that's the right thing to do. So when I insist on not trying different things, because I knew it would not make good design. That's why I take those options off the table. And all I'm trying to do is bring the good design, at least the good design in my eyes, to the world. If I cannot convince myself first, how could I sell it to the client? Maybe this is some kind of obsession for people who disagree with me and call me stubborn. 可能几年前在我比较年轻的时候，我的固执还有不少小我的成分在里面，但是现在在每一次我跟别人有不同意见，而且我又非常坚持的时候，我确实会再三 question myself why I feel so strong about my ideas. 所以在我再三自我质疑以后，如果我还是能给出一些理由，并且这些理由并不是我觉得这样好看，我喜欢这样，那我就会继续坚持。如果这样还是被人称作为固执的话， then I would consider this kind of obsession is good when it comes to design. Lately, I seriously started to learn Buddhism. Breaking the illusion of everything is the essence of the teaching. A lot of teachers also said this is not that kind of teaching to help you to do the human stuff, like work. Because when you work, you still have to have your insist. If you said, okay, everything it's all empty, nothing is actually exist, you cannot produce anything. If you let everything go and not stand firmly onto anything, I mean three-dimensional things, you simply can't get anything done. So I still let myself to be obsessed with certain things when I do work. I don't know, maybe I'm justifying myself, but that's the way I work. So about 2 weeks ago, at the beginning of August, I started to panic when I realized that I haven't worked on anything that bring me any income. One day I just randomly looked at Archinet and I saw some job posts. Well, of course, immediately I ignored them, but then out of the anxiety, I questioned myself, is it right to close the door of potential income? And getting a job is not something new to me. I mean, if it's not because of the pandemic, looking for a job is not difficult for me. I mean, I have my portfolio and resume ready, and I'm very confident about my work. But just when I had the thought, like, I physically feel uncomfortable. Seriously, physically. The feeling from the body just tell you that it is something that you don't want to do. Like, most of the time, it is not the physical emotion or feelings mess around with us. It is the mind. It's actually the ego mind. the voice in our head tells us what to do, what not to do. The mind trying to be analytical and talks to you in the way that you feel that it's you, because it knows your history, it knows your emotions, it knows everything about you, even the deepest, the secret. And when you have certain feelings, the mind is trying to tell you to ignore the feelings and to follow the mind's rational analysis. But when the voice in your head goes against your feelings, that is your body remind you that you've been tricked by your mind. The mind is quite deceptive because a lot of time it only tells you things out of fear based on your past experience and certain things other people tells you and egoic wantings. Okay? Whereas our feelings function as a measure telling you certain thoughts are good for you, whereas others are not. So I'm really trying to say that based on my own experiments so far, when your feelings go up against your mind, you probably should listen to your feelings. Yeah. And when you feel good, it not only tells you that you're making the right decisions, but also keep you on the right track and bring you success that only true to you. Yeah, so you see, in my example, I always know that I wanted to work as a freelancer, maybe have my own business one day, but I would very much like to start as an independent designer. But out of fear of not being able to support myself, I never give it a go. So actually it was me to keep myself in such toxic cycle and never follow my intuition. When I got laid off, I told myself this is the chance. This is a push from the universe that you should live and work in the way you always wanted to. So I started my YouTube channel and tried to do things that I always wanted to try. I see it as a chance to live as who I am. And so in the early August, when the fear came back, I questioned myself again and listened to my analytical mind. Thank God I noticed my feelings and I choose to listen to it. Back in the July, I've already started with this project. There was just a pause, and the pause caused some fear. So I went with my feelings. I started to feel optimistic again. Then we got contract signed. We started the work officially. Things are getting better. And next week I'm going to meet another potential client. Now hopefully I'll get the second one. So keep positive, it's really important. And notice your feelings, don't ignore them. They're really helpful. We live in the world not in the way that we educated. We're not competing with each other. We all have our own unique path. Yeah, that's it. Go back to my work.